Well, I've been working in the financial services industry and the investment markets for close to 50 years. I've been through lots of economic and market cycles, but never did I think I'd face something quite as dramatic as the one we're experiencing now, where large parts of the world are in effective lockdown. But of course, above all else, what we face is a humanitarian crisis, the likes of which none of us have experienced in peacetime. It's that that's been dominating our thinking in recent weeks. But quite obviously, what has happened is the fear and disruption on this scale is having a huge impact on global economic activity and in turn on financial markets. While the scale of the immediate slump in activity is dramatic, the way in which markets are behaving is not really materially different to other downturns in the past that have been caused by a sudden exogenous shock. So although we haven't experienced this humanitarian crisis on this scale before, we have experienced cycles many times, we've been through them, and we have quite a bit of experience in how to behave through those. Now, the sharp falls that we've seen in markets in the past month really reflect the scale of the downturn in activity, the hit to companies' revenues and profits, which we're now seeing on a daily basis, of course. And on top of that, we inevitably get distressed selling in the early stages of a big sell-off. We get it in every downturn, people who are overextended, too much debt, they become forced sellers, they sell at any price to raise cash. And then we get those people who simply can't take any further falls, they can't afford any more losses, they just have to panic out of markets. Eventually, we get through that phase of the cycle, and during which period markets get really very heavily oversold, they've discounted much of the bad news, if not all of it, and they're pricing in Armageddon. And that seems to be the point at which we are approaching in this market cycle. Now, that gives big opportunities for long-term investors. So the key points I want to make about this are, first of all, don't panic. Don't get consumed by the barrage of bad news, the media hype that we're seeing every day. You turn on the radio or TV, it's a nightmare. Selling after falls of 30 or 40% in just a month simply locks in the losses and means you're going to miss out on the recovery. Don't do it. Second thing is, recovery will come. We don't know when, we don't know the depth and duration of this crisis, but we do know it's going to end in due course. It will end. The third thing to remember, we're seeing now governments and central banks right around the world, notably here in the UK, stepping up to the plate, have taken absolutely extraordinary measures to protect employment, to protect workers and companies, and importantly, to provide liquidity in financial markets to ensure the smooth functioning of all the capital markets. We're now seeing that coming into effect, and it's helping a lot. And finally, the fourth point I'd make, it's vital to ensure your investments are in trusted hands with experienced professionals and being carefully managed. In an environment of high risk, it's essential to be in a well-diversified and actively managed portfolio spread across a wide range of different asset classes and underlying stocks. Here at Momentum, we're ensuring that we protect capital as far as we possibly can in this crisis by investing in a wide range of high quality funds, and we're positioned then to participate in the recovery when it comes. Markets today are lower than they've been for years, and the falls we've seen in just 1 month are bigger than the sorts of falls we've seen in many bear markets in the past. That means there are some really big opportunities now for longer term investors. Valuations have improved substantially, and as we come out of this crisis, we can see a really excellent recovery in equity markets. So my final message is this: stay invested through this turmoil, ensure you've got a properly diversified portfolio managed by professionals, take advantage of the opportunities for longer term investment now being presented.